Hi, this is Nick Forster. We're going to share one of our favorite eTown shows from the archives, and it starts right now.
Live from eTown Hall in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, it's eTown with this week's guests. From New York City, Steve Earle, Achievement Award winner Samir Lakhani, and from Los Angeles, California, Jonathan Wilson. I'm Helen Forster. Join me now in welcoming our host, Nick Forster.
Thank you, Helen. Thanks, everybody. Welcome to eTown Hall. Welcome to eTown. I'm excited about this week's show. We've got all the good pieces and parts we need. We've got a cool story of a young guy, a first-generation American who traveled to Cambodia and found a way to really make a difference there. We've got veteran Texas songwriter, activist, actor, author, and New Yorker Steve Earle is back with us, paying tribute to one of his heroes, Guy Clark. That's what his new record is all about. And starting things off this week, I'm really excited about this. Our first guest grew up in North Carolina in a musical family. He moved to LA as a teenager, then moved to New York, and then back to LA. Always playing music, writing songs, tinkering with guitars and gear and recording devices of all kinds. And all that led to his becoming an in-demand producer for artists like Father John Misty and Conor Oberst and Roger Waters and many more. But he's also a great player. And he's toured in Roger Waters' band. He's toured and opened up for Tom Petty and Crosby, Stills and Nash and many others. Anyway, these days, he's got his own studio in LA. He spent a long time making his latest record. And it's something I think is a real success, both in terms of the sounds and the songs. So it's lush and full, and there's all kinds of instruments on there. But this time he's here just on his own, playing those same songs. So he's here to play some of those new tunes for you. Please help me welcome to eTown for his first visit, Jonathan Wilson.
We are traveling over the midnight. We are holding our hearts. We are in flight. And our shoes, they might as well be nails. And our minds play 1,000 pretty songs for us. And there's nothing up here that could be savage, nuh-uh. There's no fear, no hatred, no killers, no guns. And besides, you wearing red ruby lipstick, So I touch you and smile while you laugh, while the idiots all lose their power, and we dance as we cover our trail. Yeah, this world, it is burning, but don't it feel incredible? Whisper in my ear, tell me what you see in the flames, in the flames. There's a freak loading out of my driveway. He's a stranger with a kind hippie face. There's a muscle ghost and it's riddled with torment. Can you roll, babe? Here's some papers and grass. Yes, God. And besides, we've got this whole town to roam around in. And they've the dubbed our voices in French. Oui, oui. To the Beverly Hills for margaritas. You look so pretty in the polo, but you're smashing in pink. Yeah. Yeah, this world, it is burning, but don't it feel incredible? Whisper in my ear, tell me what you see in the flames, in the flames. Oh. The flames, the flames, the flames, and the flames. We are traveling over the midnight. We are holding our hearts, we are in flight. And our shoes, they might as well be nails. And our minds play 1,000 pretty songs for us. And there's nothing up here that could be savage, no. There's no fear, no hatred, no killers, no guns. No fear, no guns. No fear, no guns. No fear, no guns. No killers, no guns. No killers, no guns.
Cheers. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Jonathan Wilson, welcome to eTown. So glad you're here.
Man,
I wasn't kidding.
I'm stoked to be here.
Yeah, your record sounds so good.
Thank you.
I mean, first of all, those songs are sort of sunny and positive, and this is cool. This is a message we can use these days.
Exactly. That's why I wrote it, bro.
Yeah. But that doesn't change the fact that it's still kind of a breakup record, really.
True. Well, a songwriter wouldn't have a full, you couldn't finish an album without something about that, right?
No, you couldn't start a record without something like that. But it is, it's an incredibly lush record, as you said. I mean, 150 tracks on a song.
Some of them, yeah. A lot.
It's funny, painters talk about when they know that a painting is done, you know, your painting.
Yeah.
When you're the guy and you're in the studio and you're playing all this stuff and you've already got 137 tracks on a song, how do you know when it's done?
You just have to polish off those last 13 and then you're like... no, it's like, I think that by now, all I have to go on in that instance is my instinct and my gut. And so I just keep working the clay until I'm like, that's it.
That's so cool. It's really, I mean, it is a remarkable accomplishment. So congratulations. I wonder when you're done with it, were you happy with it? Because
yeah.
that's not a given.
Yeah, and you're true. But this time, I made a collection of sounds and styles and words and images that I dig. Yeah. And that was what this was all about.
Yeah. It's really cool. It's got some timeless sounds from every era.
Yeah.
I knew I was in for a ride when the first song mentions Nelson Rockefeller, Little Jimmy Dickens, Houdini, and Frank Zappa. They're all in the first song. So okay, get ready. We're going to go.
Cool.
I want to go back just a little bit. You grew up in Western North Carolina. I've spent some time back there and in and around Spindale and WNCW land. I can kind of picture the landscape. Your dad was in a band. And did I get this right, that one of your grandmother's siblings played for Bill Monroe or something like that?
Yeah, that was my mother's brother. Played the bass.
Yeah.
During a certain time of that band, of the Bluegrass Boys.
Do you know what his name is?
Yeah, his name is Bill Ford.
Bill Ford.
Yeah.
That's cool. One of the Bluegrass Boys. Did you play with your dad when you were a kid?
Oh, yeah.
You get up on stage?
What I did, I mean, I would definitely would. But I found out that, like me, I would go from the drums to the guitar back to the organ and da-da-da-da-da. And then,
as you're learning.
Yeah, and then sometimes, as I got better, there would be maybe like the bass player couldn't show up, for some of the jams or like the rehearsals. So like me, I'd be the bass player. Or next time a drummer couldn't show up, so I would be the drummer. So that was how that whole thing started.
And jazz too. It struck you. You got interested in jazz.
Jazz was my punk. That was my,
your rebellion.
Yeah. Jazz was my way to get away from rock and roll. And like, you rockers don't know anything. Jazz is where it's at. So I got really deep into that. And that was concentrated as a jazz drummer. So that plays into everything like that I do now still.
Wild. So I can tell, I can tell from your acoustic guitar playing that you've got good time.
Oh, good.
And as I mentioned earlier, it is kind of a breakup record. Are things going a little better for you these days in that regard?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm ecstatically engaged.
Oh, good for you. Congratulations.
To a wonderful gal.
That's great. All right. Well, Jonathan, I'm really glad you're here. Thanks for sharing your music. Let's get back to music, and welcome back, if you would, to eTown, Jonathan Wilson.
Cool.
There's a cherry on top tonight for men who look like Jesus tonight. If you play your cards right, you can be with the Son of God tonight. You were so thin, you were undersized for the spring. Entered your names, tight blue jeans and my phone. I guess you do this kind of thing. Where we met on the floor, CCR was playing. Long as I can see the light, they were singing. Gave me the look that said, let's be animals tonight. Right away, we were synthesized. So we took off down Sunset Boulevard. The back tires were spinning, the axles, they were teething us into beyond. Way out on that boulevard, we can be weightless, timeless. Tonight you're so heavy on my mind. I watched you drift behind my eyes, try to roll with the punches, I flow with the tides. I guess I thought you'd be forever. You're now with me, never moments. Heaven frozen in a van with you, girl. I miss the lightness of laughter with you. So I tear out to Sunset Boulevard. The back tires, they're spinning. The axles, they are teething me into beyond. Way out on that boulevard. We can be weightless, timeless. So far down Sunset Boulevard. The back tires, they're spinning. The axles, they are teething us into beyond. Way out on that boulevard. Way out on that boulevard. Way out on that precious boulevard. We can be weightless, timeless. Weightless, timeless. La 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 la.
Jonathan Wilson. The record is called Rare Birds, out on Bella Union Records. Jonathan Wilson's going to be back to play some more music later on in the show from Los Angeles, California.
This portion of eTown is made possible by the Bohemian Foundation, building stronger communities through the bohemian qualities of creativity and imagination. On the web at bohemianfoundation.org. As a reminder, for your viewing pleasure, there are over 2,000 videos on the eTown YouTube channel, where you can also subscribe in order to stay up to date with our latest offerings. You're listening to eTown.
I'm Nick Forster. You're listening to eTown. Jonathan Wilson's going to be back later on in the show, and coming up, Steve Earle is here to pay tribute to one of his heroes, Mr. Guy Clark. Before we get back to music, we're going to introduce you, as we do every week, to somebody we got to know with the help of one of our listeners. These are just great stories of people who are looking around and finding ways to make things better wherever they are. And in every case, these individual efforts add up and really end up helping a lot of people. So we love celebrating that good news. And we recognize these folks and give them something called the Achievement Award, as you well know. And here comes Helen Forrester to tell you about this week's winner.
Thank you, Nick. Well, this week's featured story is about a young man who's figured out a way to save vast amounts of stuff from needlessly going into the landfill and then use it to improve the health of others. Samir Lakhani is a first-generation American from Allentown, Pennsylvania. His parents are of Indian descent. Well, his family's own immigrant experience sparked his motivation to help the less fortunate in developing countries. He was drawn to study environmental science in college, and after his junior year, he went to Cambodia to work on a sustainability project. He began to notice that many people in the rural villages were sick, especially the children. And he came to discover it was largely due to a lack of something we here in the States take for granted every day: soap. Ironically, at the hotel he stayed at while on this trip, the housekeepers routinely replaced the bar of soap in each hotel room, even though they were often barely used. Now, the waste of it all was not lost on Samir, and when he did some research, he found the amount of soap thrown away around the world was staggering. He decided there had to be a better way, and he's here with us to tell us more. So please welcome this week's Achievement Award winner, Samir Lakhani.
Hi, Samir. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. So Helen said your own family's immigrant experience really sort of helped influence your decision to try to help others, right?
That's right. My grandparents emigrated from India to East Africa in search of a better life. They did not find it, however.
Was that like Idi Amin world that they walked into?
That's right, yeah. So Idi Amin forced them to flee, and so they had to make the difficult journey. They had nothing left back home, so they had to flee for their lives.
Yeah. So you embraced that spirit of determination and gratefulness at the same time. I know Helen mentioned you traveled to Cambodia, and you saw an obvious problem that many of the people were sick in these villages.
I spent a lot of time in rural Cambodian villages, and these are villages that look the same way they probably did 1,000 years ago, right? Nothing has really changed. And while I was there, I witnessed something that changed my life forever. I saw a poor village woman bathing her newborn son, but she was scrubbing his skin with laundry powder, a toxic substance that should never be applied to the skin. With the help of a friend, I asked her, I said, why are you using this substance? And she told me it was all that she could afford. Now, to paint the picture, a bar of soap in a Cambodian village is a luxury item. It's something we take for granted here. Wow. So a bar of soap can cost up to 75 cents over there. But these are families that earn less than 50 cents per day. They're going to prioritize feeding their families first.
Yeah.
So I returned to my hotel room feeling pretty helpless.
Yeah.
But as I stepped into the bathroom, it hit me like a lightning bolt. I had noticed that my housekeeper had thrown away a bar of soap that I had barely even touched. And so it was in that precise moment I knew what I could do for that village woman, but countless others too. So I started a nonprofit, something that I don't suggest many undergraduate students to do. But I started a nonprofit nonetheless, and it's called Eco Soap Bank. And what we do is simple and magical. We employ economically disadvantaged women worldwide to collect and recycle leftover hotel soap, which we then redistribute to schools, hospitals, and health clinics across those countries.
So you're providing employment to women, which is powerful and we know transformative in all kinds of communities.
That's right. So we're employing close to 150 women in 10 countries now who are fleeing from domestic violence. We have HIV-positive mothers and other single mothers who are struggling just to make ends meet. But we give them the opportunity to rebuild their lives, but also the chance and the platform to give back to their communities.
Yeah. Well, tell me about the benefit of the soap. Once the soap gets into the hands of these communities, what kind of a difference does it make?
Since 2015, we've been able to reach over 1 million people with soap and education. And so 1 million people are now washing their hands regularly.
It's wild.
We see disease rates dropping. We see children learning the lifelong habit of hand washing so that they can stay out of hospitals and get back into schools where they belong. Diarrheal diseases kill more children than AIDS, measles, and malaria combined. Diarrhea is an antiquated disease that we can stop with a simple provision of soap. It can reduce the risk of those diseases by 60%. And for these communities that have no public health access, it can be life-saving.
That's wild. And you mentioned you're in 10 countries, so you expanded beyond Cambodia.
That's right. So we're in 10 countries worldwide, and we'll continue to grow.
And over 1 million people have been helped, and you're really making a difference. So I'm assuming there's a website, Samir, if people want to go and find out what you're up to and look at pictures and stuff?
Absolutely. So visitors can go to ecosoapbank.org, where they can donate. I just want to mention that it costs us only 10 cents to put a life-saving bar of soap in a child's hands.
Yeah, that's amazing. Samir, let me just ask you a question. How old are you now?
So right now, I'm 26.
26,
and
okay.
I plan on doing this for the rest of my life.
Wow, congratulations. You discovered this as a young man. That's awesome. So the organization is called Eco Soap Bank. The website is ecosoap.org.
That's right.
Again, you've accomplished so much, and you're well on your way. So keep it up. And congratulations to this week's winner of the Achievement Award, Samir Lakhani. Congratulations, Samir.
Well, if you just joined us and you missed part of this conversation or Samir's contact information, you can find all of that on our website, eTown.org. Now, to nominate someone for the Achievement Award, someone who's working to better the lives of others and maybe even help the planet in some way, as Samir is doing, you can do that on our website as well. There are full instructions there. Or you can always contact us the old-fashioned way by writing us at Box 954, Boulder, Colorado, 80306.
Thank you, Helen. Thanks, Samir. Such a cool story. All right, so we've got more music coming up from Jonathan Wilson a little later on in the show. Steve Earle, he's one of the most prolific, successful, hardworking singer-songwriters there are. He's been at this for a while. He released his first EP in 1982, and he has since written so many songs. He's put out, I think, 20 records or something like that. He's won Grammys, sold millions of records, made money, lost money, married, divorced. He's written books, he's written plays, he's been an actor and an activist. He's a hardcore troubadour, as he says, and he's back here to play some songs from his latest. It's a tribute to the late and legendary Texas songwriter Guy Clark, who was not only an inspiration to Steve, but also a good friend and mentor back when Steve first moved to Nashville 37 years ago. I mean, it's a great story, and it's come full circle now with this new release. So welcome back to eTown, our good friend Steve Earle.
Pack up all your dishes, make a note of all good wishes, say goodbye to the landlord for me. Some bitches always bored me. Throw away them old LA papers, mold a box of vanilla wafers. Adios to all this concrete. Gonna give me some dirt road back street. If I can just get off of this LA freeway without getting killed across, I'll be down the road in a cloud of smoke to some land I ain't bought in this. Head to you, old skinny dentist. Only one I think I will miss. I can hear your basement singing sweet and low like a gift you're bringing. Play it for me one more time now. Gotta give it all we can now. Yeah, believe every word you're saying. And just keep on playing. If I can just get off of this LA freeway without getting killed because I'll be down the road in a cloud of smoke to some land I ain't bought if you put the pink card in the mailbox. Leave a key in the old front door lock. They will find it likely as not. Sure there's something we had forgot. Oh, Susanna, don't you cry, babe. Love's a gift that's truly handmade. We got something to believe in. Don't you think it's time we're leaving? If I can just get off of this LA freeway without getting killed, because I've been down the road in a cloud of smoke to some land I ain't bought if I just get off of this LA freeway without getting killed because pack up all your dishes, make a note of all good wishes, say goodbye to the landlord for me. Some bitches always bored me. Years old, I've seen some trains before, so I'm trying to figure out what we're at the depot for. Trains are big and black, smoke and steam, screaming at the wheel. Bigger than anything he is, at least that's the way she feels. Trains are big and black and smoking, and lighter than July 4. But everybody's acting like this might be some more than just picking up the mail of the soldiers from the war. This is something even old man Wildman never seen before. This late afternoon on a hot Texas day, something strange is going on with us all in the way. Now there's 50, 60 people just sitting on the cars. The old men left the dominoes and they come down from the bars. Everybody's checking old Jack Kittrell check his watch. Us kids put our ears to the rails to hear them pop. So we already know that when the final said train time, you'd have thought that Jesus Christ himself was rolling down the line. Cause things got real quiet. Mama jerked me back, but not before I got a chance to lay a nickel on the track. Here she comes, she come and stand back there she goes, she gone screaming straight to Texas like a mad dog cyclone. She's big and red silver, she don't make no smoke. She's a fast rolling streamline, come show the folks. I said, look out, here she comes, she's coming and stand back there she goes, she's gone screaming straight to Texas like a mad dog cyclone. Hey! Never even stopped. She left 50, 60 people sitting on the cars
wondering what it's coming to, how I got this far. For me, I got a nickel smashed flatter than a dime by a mad dog, runaway red silver streamline train. Look out, here she comes, she's coming. Stand by, there she goes, she's going. Screaming straight to Texas like a mad dog cyclone. She's big and red silver, she don't make no smoke. She's a fast rolling streamline, come to show the folks. She said, look out, here she comes, she's coming. Stand back, there she goes, she's gone. Screaming straight through Texas like a mad dog cyclone. I said, look out, here she comes, she's coming. Stand back, there she goes, she's gone. Screaming straight through Texas like a mad dog cyclone.
Thanks. And for this band.
Steve Earle, welcome back to eTown.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, and it makes perfect sense, your latest record, but you also did it really well.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's a
we're
good
proud
collection
of
of songs, and your band cut it, and it sounds really good.
5 days and
Wow.
5 long days, and then just turned it over to Ray Kennedy, and we got right back on the bus and went to East Tennessee and played the night we finished.
Wow.
But,
Well, let me ask you just quickly about if you remember the first time you met Guy Clark.
yeah, it was pretty easy because I got to Nashville with a introduction if I bumped into him, but by that time he and Susanna had moved out to the lake. But you know, I've been waiting for him to turn up in town, and I walked into Bishop's Pub, and Richard Dobson was behind the bar. Great songwriter, passed away just a few years ago. And he said, guys in the back. And there was a pool room in the back, and I had this cowboy hat. Nobody would have recognized me without this black, American, 3X with a beaded hat band on it. And I had it kind of pulled down over my eyes, and I kind of slunk in there. And I got into a corner. It was Guy, Susanna, Jim Stafford, and Deborah Allen. They were shooting pool. And I just kind of sat in the corner, and he was lining up a shot, and then he looked up, and there I was in the corner. He said, nice hat. And that kind of started the conversation.
That's all it
and
took.
From there, he found out I knew Towns, and I was kind of in.
Yeah. I think what's interesting, Guy Clark, for those of you who don't know, a great songwriter and a disciplined songwriter, as he was saying, who made a lot of stuff, but he also was a guitar builder. And so he would be able to kind of bounce those two disciplines against each other. When one was working, the other one wasn't. And when one was, he could move around like that.
And he painted, too. He started painting a lot. He originally was a visual artist. That's what he was trained to be.
Yeah.
But he was involved in the folk scene in Houston from the beginning.
Right.
He was kind of hard on me and a couple other people. He just sort of, if your feedback from Guy was like, would be one of two things. It was never more than a couple words. It would either be good work or alternatively needs work. And that was it, But he showed me, I was writing with a pen. He said, why are you writing with a pen? Write with a pencil, with a big eraser. And he told me the songs are never finished until you play them for people.
Yeah.
And that probably was the most important thing that he taught me.
That's cool. We're going to shift gears briefly, and then we got to get back to music. You are, we all know, a politically engaged person who's paying attention. I'm just trying to imagine what it's like to be Steve Earle these days when you walk out onto a stage. How do you even begin to choose what to talk about? Or like how do you, where do you even start?
Well, Outlaw, the last record, everybody wondered why it wasn't more political. And the truth is I didn't know this catastrophe was going to befall us when I was writing those songs. So the next record, I said, would be just as country, but way more political. And I meant that, and that record's going to get made. But releasing the Guy record now means that record can come out in 2020. And it's not, I'm not stupid, I think about this stuff. Don't expect, though, and this is what I've been saying mostly lately, because I'm not just talking about, this isn't about them. Pointing fingers and talking about them, they did it. It's the same thing that what we call the other side is doing when they say it's them that are taking the jobs. That's got to stop. So I want to make a record. I've made 2 Preaching to the Choir records. I'm very proud of them. I'm probably more radical than I've ever been in my life. Just trust in that. But I want to make a record that speaks to people, that maybe didn't vote the way that I did, and it didn't have to be that way, and maybe it doesn't have to be that way this time. I want to make a record that can actually change hearts and minds. That's the record I want to make, because I've already done the other thing. So. And the main thing is we've got to go through this process with as much kindness as we can possibly muster, because the meanness is what's killing us politically more than anything else, and killing our democracy, just because it puts people off, it frightens people, it makes people, it's absolutely okay to be angry. I am really angry, but it's not okay to be mean, ever, about anything.
Which reminds me that I want to invite you, when it works out, sometime for you to attend one of our new events that we're doing here at eTown Hall, Hippie Bluegrass Church.
That sounds pretty good to me.
Hippie Bluegrass Church is exactly what you're talking about. It's a big sing-along, and read some poetry and find out what we have in common.
Cool.
Everybody comes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Steve, listen, thank you so much for coming back. We got a lot more music to play. Congratulations on making a Good Guy Clark record.
Thank you.
Welcome back to eTown, Mr. Steve Earle.
Sister said you better act right, Coleman. Daddy's gone to Louisville, he'll be back tonight. Gonna get another wagon, pick up the mules. Gonna all move to Texas, we just waiting on you. Now Coleman's daddy, he pulled up in the yard. He said, pack up your guys, kids, it's getting too hard. Kentucky's alright, there's too many people. Why, just the other day I thought I saw a church steeple. Coleman said, Daddy, don't you worry about me. I'm gonna stay here in Kentucky till the day I die. Gonna drink that sour mash, gonna race that mare. Gonna find me the woman with the foxy red hair. Now, y'all been moving west since the day you got married. Well, I'm getting off the wagon, Daddy, I'm too old to carry. Gonna stay in Kentucky where the bluegrass grows. Gonna play all night up the New Cut Road. Now Coleman's daddy said, what's it all coming to? Young people these days are just as stubborn as mules. You can't make him go, he's too old for that. It's that damn old fiddle and that bowler hat. Now Coleman's mama said, just let the boy stay, cause he was raised up solid and he can find his own way. But as for me, honey, I'm with you. I always knew Kentucky was just passing through. Now Coleman's little sister, she started into crying. Daddy shook his head for the very last time. Coleman's mama said somebody's gotta do it. Wouldn't be no Kentucky if you didn't stick to it, Coleman. Coleman's body stood on the porch of that cabin. Watch them all go to Texas in a covered wagon. They pulled down his fiddle and risened up the boat. They played a little tune called the New Cut Road.
Steve Earle. The record out on New West is called Guy. This is Steve Earle along with eTown's Chris Engelman, Ron Jolly, Christian Teal, Helen Forster, and Justin Hoffenberg playing the fiddle. Steve Earle.
Nick Forster. Your visit to eTown is made possible in part by the Scientific and Cultural Facilities District, or SCFD, one of the largest cultural funding mechanisms in the United States, supporting nearly 300 organizations in the greater Denver area. And by our diverse family of NPR affiliates and community stations, plus college and commercial stations, as well as our international stations and podcast subscribers worldwide. Thank you for your continued support. You're listening to eTown.
I'm Nick Forster. I'd like to say hello to our listeners who are hearing eTown on stations like WQBR in Avis, Pennsylvania, on WSQX in Binghamton, New York, and on KGLP down in Gallup, New Mexico. As always, if you'd like some more information about any of our guests this week, or you want to see photos or videos, in fact, you can see all kinds of videos on our YouTube channel, and there are so many, so you should definitely check that out. But so much information can be found online at eTown.org. So Steve and Jonathan and Samir, it's been a great combo so far. We get time for some more music right now from Jonathan, and then the finale, which we figured out just a little while ago, popular song that we've never done before. That's all coming up. But right now, please help me welcome back to eTown, Jonathan Wilson.
Cheers, you guys. Thank you so much. Again, I would love to bring the band up, Nick and the gang. It's really been such a fantastic thing to come here with these guys and to be able to share the stage with them and with Steve. It's been fun. So here we go. Moses Payne, take your bag, head on into the city. Looks like they could use another troubadour. All the fair ladies there, they'll be begging for mercy. Don't forget your chambermaid, she's waiting on the 7th floor. They wanna show you too high cotton when you sing on slavery. They wanna sell and reproduce your golden voice. Hey, they wanna get down to the bottom of what it is that propels you. They'll never know that hard luck road you've been on. Go ahead. Remember that country doctor with the twitching eyelid, the one who showed you Moses how you were gonna get to heaven, one who brought you into this world just to scrapping and singing. and the one who you will meet, Moses, when you make it back home. One night you'll see a brazen maiden in the doorway, and she will summon you to travel on love's sweet two-lane highway. Just remember the art of war and them affairs down at Eden. Don't become the type of person that you told me you would never become. Your pen to the page, and beauty never knew the world till you came of age. There are clouds whispering, Lord, thunder whispering with rain. Keep writing those sweet rugged melodies of love. Moses, I write the legend of pain. Keep on riding. 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 Keep on. Keep on riding. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Keep on riding.
Jonathan Wilson.
Thank you.
Los Angeles, California. The record is called Rare Birds out on Bella Union Records, along with eTones. Once again, Chris and Ron and Christian and Helen. We've got time for one more song. I want to get everybody out here on stage. I want to thank all our guests. Thanks to Jonathan Wilson for coming out from Los Angeles. Thanks to our award winner, Samir Lakhani, bringing health sanitation to those in need through a soap recycling program. Thanks to Steve Earle, eTones, Helen, all of you guys. So we started thinking about Los Angeles in the 70s and some of the sounds that inspired us all, and then we thought about Jonathan's jam sessions in Laurel Canyon. That led us to Jackson Browne. That led us to this next song, a huge hit that we have never done as a finale before because it's a huge hit. But here it is. I'm Nick Forster. Hope you can be with us next week right here in eTown.
Well, I'm running down the road trying to lose my load. I got 7 women on my mind. 4 they wanna own me, 2 they wanna stone me. 1 she's a friend of mine. see. So girl, my lord, my flatbed Ford slowing down to take a look at me. Come on, baby, don't say maybe. I gotta know if your sweet love gonna save me. We may lose and we may win, but we'll never be here again. So open up, I'm climbing in. Take it easy.
eTown is produced by a donor-supported nonprofit organization. This week, the show was recorded live at our beautiful solar-powered eTown Hall. Please feel free to send comments about eTown or Achievement Award nominations or inquiries about how to get tickets to a live taping to info@etown.org or visit our website.
Yeah, I'm running down the road trying to loosen my load. Got a world of trouble on my mind. Lord, I'm looking for a lover who won't blow my cover. She's just a little hard to find. Take it easy, take it easy.
Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Come on, baby, don't say maybe. I gotta know if your sweet love gonna save me.
As always, distribution of eTown is made possible by our family of sponsors, this station, and listeners like you.
Jonathan Wilson, Steve Earle, the E-Tones, along with Justin Hockenberg and Helen. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.
This is a production of eTown.